South Korean game company Sonori released White Day, a labyrinth-named school. There are two versions of this game, the original released in 2001 for Windows, and a remake of the game released in 2015 for mobile devices. In 2017, we got a PS4 and PC port of the remake. So today I'll be covering the remake for PS4 since it's the only version of the game I've played. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and this game. If you haven't checked out White Day, definitely check it out before watching this. So let the class trial begin. Warning. This game contains very dark themes. So if you're not able to handle something as heavy as this, then I recommend you skipping this video or skip to the next timestamp. Hey, how's it going everyone? DillyDax here, and today we're bringing White Day to the channel. I didn't play it on here, but I definitely played it on my free time when the game came out. No, wait, no, I didn't play it when the game came out. My bad, I don't know what I'm saying. I played it back in like 2020 during the COVID pandemic. One thing I wanted to mention is that White Day has multiple endings, 10 of them to be exact, and depending on what dialogue you pick to speak to the girls decides what ending you get. So for the story, I will talk about the true and canon ending called White Chrysanthemum, and I will briefly mention about the other endings at the end of the video or after we cover the story, because they're not really that game changing with exception of one that actually like made me feel genuinely sad for the character involved and what happened. But yeah, without further ado, let's continue with the story. Just another quick disclaimer, I'm not very, what's the correct word, proficient, I guess, or I'm gonna mispronounce some of these names. I know for sure if I say it wrong, I know I'm saying it wrong, so please let me know if I'm saying it wrong. The story is set in Yeondu High School. Hee-min Lee, also known as generic anime protagonist, so in other words he's a Chad by default, he spots a beautiful girl sitting on a nearby bench. Her name is So Young Han, as we'll later come to know. Also known as Best Girl because her ending is true ending, so obviously she's Best Girl, I guess, in the game standards. Anyways, she opens up her diary only to have a strong gust of wind blow her photo away. The photo lands in front of our Chad, which he then picks up to inspect. But So Young quickly swipes it out of his hands. Before anything can be said, she's called by a classmate who will later meet. She walks away, accidentally forgetting her diary. Our Chad, now in love with So Young, decides to sneak into the school at night to return her diary and leave chocolate at her desk for White Day. Little does he know, it was going to be harder than he thought. Also, who goes in the middle of the night? And why is a gate open in the middle of the night? They just let anyone walk in, or what's going on here? Upon entering, the school gate shuts behind him, trapping him inside. Now stuck inside the school, he meets 14 other students with no memory of how they got there and are told by a black and white bear that they must kill each other. Wait a minute, wrong game. So trapped inside the school, Hee-min runs into two female students trying to get into the home ec room. This is where the game becomes a telltale game. You see, your responses to any of the three girls affects how the main story goes and decides which of the 10 endings you'll get. The girl with glasses is Seol Ji-hyun. She's the real best girl in my opinion. So girl, how are you? Okay, just okay. And the last of the three girls is Kim Sung-ah, my queen.
I'm glad that you're here. You are going to help me out.
Anything for you, my queen. I'll follow you wherever. The holy sanctum. I like where this is going. As if being trapped in the school wasn't bad enough, you're trapped in here with two other janitors who don't take kindly to anyone in their school after hours.
If he catches you, the punishment is harsh. Anyway, he's nice in the daytime.
After getting into the workshop, we receive a talisman, and thanks to Sung-ah, we now know that the only way out of the school is through the lecture hall. Well, the map says the lecture hall is through those doors, so I guess we just go this way then. My goodness, what is that? Oh my god, yep, okay. Yep, the school is haunted. Yeondu High School was built on the graves of many. It used to be a concentration camp and a hospital. so I guess it was the perfect place to build a school. However, most of the ghosts He-Min encounters are students of Yondu High. Since the school is cursed and bad things happen, people go crazy and either kill themselves or others because of where it was built. 5 talisman representing the 5 elements:
Water, earth, fire, air.
Oh, I guess they didn't watch Avatar. Like, why would no one bends wood? 5 talisman were placed around the school in order to balance the feng shui. In short, it's basically bad vibes or bad luck. For more info about feng shui, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Episode 17. It would keep the bad stuff outside of the school by forming a barrier. However, those who died in the school would have their souls trapped inside because of the barrier. That is why there are so many classmates in the school. As He-Man continues to explore the school, he discovers that he isn't exactly alone. As seen earlier, the school has 2 night guards who seem to take their job a little too seriously. Each building has a main evil spirit, and defeating said spirit grants you a talisman. And as we continue with the story and talking to the girls, we discover that Sung-Ah really dislikes So-Young. We also discover that So-Young had an older sister who hung herself in the school. This is why So-Young decided to come to the school, and to come to the school on this specific night. By the way she speaks, we can assume that she actually comes to the school at night pretty often. In fact, we later learned that her sister's name was Na-Young, the ghost who we first encountered trying to go to the lecture hall. The reason Na-Young hung herself was because she kept receiving a phone call that left her feeling a bit down. Look, as I stated earlier, this game is pretty dark, and this is the point of the game where we're going to be touching on those darker themes. So this is your last warning. It gets pretty dark. It gets pretty more dark from here. Pretty sure I said that sentence wrong. Whatever. This is your last warning. After obtaining a tape from the music appreciation room, we hear the recording of a student who died in a fire in the school's home ec room years ago.
Fire! Mom!
And then we are interrupted by Jason Griffith. That's right. If you guys didn't know, this character right here is voiced by Jason Griffith, none other than Sonic the Hedgehog, who we later find out is the school's ex-music teacher who also killed himself. But at least he gave us a key to continue with the story. As mentioned previously, the building in the school has a main spirit protecting the talisman you need to continue. Main building 1 had an evil tree, main building 2 had an evil baby spirit, and the new building has a rooftop mermaid. But once you try moving on to the next building, another spirit appears in the new building, the mother of the victim who tragically died in the school's fire. Choi Eun-min roams the school searching for her daughter. The night of the fire, she was kept from entering the school to save her daughter by the janitors. Because of this, she was driven to madness. She violently chases down He-Min to the highest floor of the new building, where he triggers the fire alarm and stuns her to the point where she accidentally walks off and falls off the 3rd floor.
My child, I will always protect you.
Once you arrive to the auditorium, she is revived by the darkened spirits of the school, and the gym is set on fire. After putting out the fire, you rescue So-Young and collect the last talisman. At the request of So-Young, you use the last talisman, as she believes that collecting the talisman will bring the barrier down and allow the spirits of all those who died in the school be set free, including her sister. However, Sung-Ah appears and seems to be rather happy about this. This is where everything is revealed. Sung-Ah wanted this to happen as well, but for a different reason. It becomes clear that So-Young can't see Sung-Ah. This was teased before during a conversation with Ji-Hyun, where she mentions that Sung-Ah and So-Young had a huge fight, but So-Young was quiet the whole time, while Sung-Ah was the only one talking. It was as if So-Young never noticed Sung-Ah being there. Hee-min is taken to a place called the Labyrinth. The dialogue we hear here finally connected the dots for us. As it turns out, the person who died in the school fire years ago was none other than Sung Ah. You see, Sung Ah and Na Young were best friends, and both had planned to meet at the school at night, but Na Young never showed up, and when the fire broke out, Sung Ah died. However, because of the school's barrier, Sung Ah couldn't pass on, so she became trapped in the school, causing her anger to grow. But she became stronger by feasting on the despair and sadness of others, allowing her to become the master of the labyrinth. All of this is revealed while Hee-min traverses the labyrinth collecting the 5 talisman. Even the fact that Sung Ah was the one calling Na Young on the phone, making her feel guilty to the point that she gave in to Sung Ah. To explain why all this is happening, I have to explain who Kim Ji-woon is. The school's ex-music teacher who was in charge of keeping the school's feng shui in balance. He created the talisman for the purpose of bringing good luck to the school, but ended up trapping spirits in the school, spirits like Sung Ah. Because of this, Ji-woon and Choi Eun-mi, I keep mispronouncing that name, attempted a resurrection ritual to bring Sung Ah back to life by using Na Young's body as a vessel. But Na Young prevented this from happening when she hung herself. Now Sung Ah plans to complete the ritual using So Young's body as the vessel. But Hee-min, having collected the 5 talisman, destroys the labyrinth and reverts Sung Ah back to her previous and powerless self. And Na Young drags her into the abyss of the labyrinth. Hee-min picks up So Young and exits the labyrinth. They wake up outside of the school, having freed all the spirits trapped in the school and restoring the feng shui of the school. That is the story of White Day.
Hee-min, I think that I will remember you for the rest of my life.
The gameplay of White Day is very simple, as it's a simple walk and interact game. You can't fight back against the enemies of the game, with the only exception being the main bosses, which is pretty similar between all 3 of them. All of these bosses are pretty much similar in the way that you just have to walk around and pretty much just beat the puzzle. You're placed under a time limit and have to complete the puzzle within said time limit. For main build in 1, you fight the tree spirit by finding a chemical, which you literally just throw on plants, which are on both floors of the first main building. There are also quick time events in this game, which really rely on only moving left or right, or sometimes even wiggle the analog stick. For main building 2, you fight, well, I say fight, but it's more like calm down an unborn baby spirit. You calm him down by giving him a figure of his mother. For the rooftop of the new building, you walk on an invisible pathway over a pool, while the mermaid swims around. And in the auditorium, you just grab a couple of fire extinguishers and pull the fire alarm to set off the sprinklers. You don't even fight Sung Ah in the labyrinth, as all you do is collect the talisman. All in all, it's pretty simple gameplay and pretty much easy to understand. There are also healing items and items to calm down your character, as walking and running so much and encountering many different ghosts makes him a little bit jittery. As the game takes place inside of a haunted school at night, you would expect a spooky and eerie atmosphere. That's exactly what you get while playing White Day. Nothing else. The game is spooky. It's a indie horror game. The school is filled with many unique ghosts, 20 to be exact, all who you encounter during the game, and if you're into exploring. The most amount of ghosts appear in the hardest mode of the game, all who definitely surprised me when they first showed up, especially the closet ghost who appears randomly when opening up lockers. And if I had to pick the one that scared me the most, it would be a 3-way tie between the attendance ghost, Eun-ah, and the bathroom ghost. The attendance ghost shows up when you collect the gym teacher's hat and stare at the attendance sheet in classroom 211 in the main building in section 1. The bathroom ghost will show up in all bathrooms in the first main building, and imagine running from the janitor and jumping in the bathroom at the stall at the end of the bathroom and waiting to make sure that he isn't there anymore, just to hear the sound of someone getting closer and kicking in the bathroom stalls and getting closer and closer. Well, let's just say it's a good thing I was already in the bathroom. Eun-ah is a ghost that you have to fight to continue with the story. She is a ghost that appears in the music appreciation room. At first, I managed to sneak my way into this room without getting caught by the janitor, just to see this girl sitting down in the darkness. She was just sitting there, and I noped out of there so fast, man, you have no idea. Then I obtained the talisman, so I headed back there thinking I would beat her, but then this girl started singing Ready or Not and stands up and she disappears, and it's like, oh my goodness. I can't. Nope, I can't. No, definitely check out Super Horror Bro's videos on all the ghosts, as he really goes in depth in all these ghosts. Not to mention that all these ghosts have backstories, like pretty sad backstories. Like, for example, Eun-ah was disfigured by a girl who threw a chemical on her face, eating away at her beautiful face. The bathroom ghost was pushed off of the school rooftop because of jealousy, and she was pushed off by her friend. Oh my goodness. The attendance ghost shows up when collecting the teacher's gym hat because the gym teacher read her love note in front of the whole class just to embarrass her. This girl charges right at you, man. So definitely check out Super Horror Bro's video. He definitely goes in depth about all these ghosts. These are just the ones that scared me the most, and they're all pretty freaky, man. A remake of the 2001 game. This new remake contains a new story and a new character that you can encounter by finding doodles of her artwork all over the school in the first main building. Ji-min is a new character to the story of White Day, and her story takes place during the same time that Hee-min's story takes place. Her story serves as a way to give an end to Sung-ah, as Ji-min searches for a way to free Sung-ah and finally let her and her mom rest in peace. There's not really much to this story other than the fact that it brings 2 more endings to the game, as Ji-min's endings don't really seem to be canon, as all of them involve her being outside with the main character, Hee-min. However, for the true ending, Hee-min is outside with So Young. Therefore, I don't think these endings or her story could be considered canon. However, I did want to mention it because, well, it's more gameplay or more story that you can experience while playing the PS4 and PC version of White Day. So I definitely recommend playing as Ji-min. In fact, I didn't even know Ji-min was a character. Even the fact that she's on the box, I didn't even click in my mind that she was in the game. I had to find out through some other guy on the Let's Play, and saying that there was a other story or another character to play. So definitely check that one out. As I mentioned before, the game has like 10 alternate endings, which is crazy, 10 alternate endings. But then the more we get into them, they're not really all that different. So this isn't no like Heavy Rain stuff or Detroit Become Human, but we're gonna get into all of these. Death. Simply dying will get you this ending. That's it. How do you even say Hyacinth? I'm sorry, bro. They're all named after flowers. This is the only one I can't pronounce. Hyacinth, for sorrow or forgive me. This ending is achieved by the same conditions as the White Chrysanthemum, except you don't take So Young with you in the final run after trying to escape the labyrinth. I don't know why anyone would just leave her, considering the fact that she's on the floor. Hee-min awakes next to the school, alone. He gets up slowly and gazes at the window as he sees a dark, shadowy figure looking at him from the school. He then runs out of there, and it turns out to be Na Young. Hee-min flees the school, dropping his White Day gift. This is the I'm not a simp ending, because you just leave her there. Ivy, the friendship ending. This ending is achieved by taking So Young's route, but giving her negative replies, the friend zone ending. Turbo Rose, dangerous pleasures. After the fire in the lecture hall, you don't look after Ji-hyun. Just before Hee-min places the final talisman, Sung-ah stops him. Both of them walk outside while Hee-min tries to look for a way out, yet he will not be able to find one as there seems to be a wall trapping them both inside the school. Sung-ah will ask him what he is looking for. The no escape ending. Ebony, hypocrisy and darkness. Do not choose a positive answer for Sung-ah after the fire in the lecture hall, and don't look after Ji-hyun. This ending is swapped with the original Turbo Rose ending, however, only So Young appears in the ending. Now as the revived Sung-ah, having completed the ritual. This is honestly the saddest ending in the game, as So Young is now trapped forever in the school now that the resurrection ritual actually worked. So this is if Sung Ah basically won. This is the saddest ending, as So Young, I repeat again for the second time, is now trapped inside the school forever, while Heemin has no idea because he can't see her anymore. Dandelion, sincerity and happiness. You basically think Ji-hyun is the best girl, which she is. Fight me. Althea, consumed by love. You select negative replies for Ji-hyun. This ending really makes no sense. I think it's just if Ji-hyun is your friend and that's it. You just stay as friends. Additionally, Ji-min gets 2 endings. Jasmine, you are mine. Be mean to Ji-hyun in main building 1. Later, be nice to her in main building 2. Ji-min's thoughts will be positive when you play as her. She loves me. Marguerite, hidden love. Always select negative or positive replies to Ji-min. Ji-min's thoughts will be negative when you play as her. She loves me not. White Day is a game that I picked up for like $5 off the PlayStation Store, and I definitely wasn't expecting this game to catch my interest this much. When I saw it, I looked at the screenshots of the game and decided it was, interesting to play. I definitely recommend this game to anyone looking for a simple horror game, which actually has a prequel in the works called White Day 2, The Flower That Tells Lies. Some may remember a game called White Day 2 Swan Song for the VR. This game received only like 1 teaser and was meant to be a prequel to the first game. However, Swan Song was cancelled due to sexual harassment allegations. Yikes. There was a VR game of White Day that was released, however, which was called White Day The Courage Test, which is available to play on the Steam store. However, it's VR only. The new game announced now goes by a different name, now being the second try at a sequel for White Day, being White Day 2, The Flower That Tells Lies, which has 3 teaser trailers which look amazing. And from the looks of it, like it has a higher budget than anything we've seen so far in the series. Literally, they've remade everything, and it kind of reminds me of the Resident Evil 2 remake we got years ago. I feel old. When did Resident Evil 2 remake come out? I'm gonna look that up real quick. Oh my god, 2019? Dude, oh my, I feel old. That's crazy, man. So definitely check out White Day 2 and those teaser trailers, because like they look stunning, they look beautiful, and everything is so much detailed. Hopefully we'll get a release date soon, as we've been seeing more and more of these. Like 3 weeks ago, I believe, was the last teaser we got. It would be nice to see this game grow a bigger fan base, as it's definitely a series I would love to see grow, and it has potential for like sequels, and the sequel we have seen so far, it seems to have hard work put into it. Anyways, this concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this Truth Blitz. I definitely want to make more. I'm trying a new style, I guess. I'm still working things out on how to continue this or not, but I definitely have ideas, though, that's for sure. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Or I can do that better. Bye.